Hey, what's up, it's Dom and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'll be reviewing my laptop. Now, I purchased this laptop about a good couple of months ago now, so I figured this would be the perfect time to do a full review about it. If you'd like this type of content, so that's tech reviews, unboxing videos, gaming, tutorials, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So, without further ado, let's get started. So this is the HP Pavilion 14-CE0505SA. I had to look up on my notes on that one. Long model number. Yeah, so this laptop was initially purchased for university, and for those of you who don't know, I studied computer science at university, and I needed something new because my old Toshiba Z50 wasn't up to it anymore. So without advertising for anybody, I purchased this on an epic deal at my local Currys store. It was about £600 for an i7 laptop, which is pretty amazing. So the full specs: the CPU is a i7-8550U. It came with a 256 M2 SSD, and that was a Western Digital. And the GPU is a NVIDIA GeForce MX130, 2GB dedicated graphics. It's full HD and it's got B&O Play audio. So, as I already said, I was looking for something better for university and smaller, to be honest with you. And this is it was about 14-inch, and that's literally the perfect size for carrying around with you. So, what I like about it, so the first thing I really like about it is, I'm not sure if you can see it on this video, but let's close it. If I show it to you like that, and open it, I'm not sure if you can see this here. I'll show you again. If you look here, the lid turns into a stand. Let's have a look. You see that lift up? That's like a stand there, which is pretty good. And yeah, apart from that, it's actually stylish. I mean, look at it. It's clean. You know, it's wow. It's got nice speakers. It feels pretty solid actually. And it's light. It's small, so perfect to put in your backpack. Perfect for traveling. I was thinking of getting a gaming laptop, but then I thought to myself, I got a rig, so why on earth would I want to buy another gaming laptop? Just buy something smaller, to carry around with you. The other thing I really like about this is the keyboard itself. It's very comfortable to type on. There is one thing I don't like about it, which I will discuss later on in the video. It's got an i7 for £600. An i7 is an amazing deal in my opinion. It's got SSD storage as well. Maybe not much of it initially, but I did upgrade it, but more on that later on. It's got a decent display. It actually looks real nice. I'll show that later on. It's got good sound quality. It's Windows Hello compatible, so it actually even has a USB-C port somewhere up here. Where are you? Just there. And it's got loads of other ports as well. So you got HDMI, you got an RJ45 port there. It's one of those weird ones where you have to do that. It's got a Kensington lock. It's got headphones. It's got a SD card reader. You got 2 USB ports, which I'm not too happy of, but many laptops nowadays only come with 2 USB-A ports. So let's get on to what I don't like about it, and there's quite a few of them, not as much as there is on the things I like about it though, so the list, the advantages are higher than the disadvantages of this laptop. First thing I don't like about it is the keyboard, which might seem strange, especially since the keyboard's on one of the advantages. It's one of those, I suppose, isn't it? But I'm not sure if you can see it because of the lighting here. So the keyboard is currently backlit and you've got all the lights on. And the trouble is the keys are silver and the light is white, so it's difficult to see. So the next thing I don't like about it, and it might not appeal to everybody, okay, but if you're like me and you like upgrading things, then this might appeal to you. This laptop has a space to put a standard laptop hard drive or SSD 2.5 inch, and the one thing they didn't include with this laptop is the ribbon cable, which you can connect your 2.5 hard drive or SSD to, and the little frame to go around it. Now unfortunately they've also discontinued those. So I did actually manage to finally purchase a ribbon cable. I'm not sure if it's genuine or not, but I purchased one on eBay and it works a treat. I can actually feel the hard drive spinning away in there at the moment. Extra storage is extra storage, I suppose. And the video on how I done that is going to be available somewhere up here for you now. But nevertheless, it was a very cheap upgrade, and well, yeah, if you have a spare hard drive lying around like I did from my old Toshiba laptop, then why not? So the next thing I didn't like about it is when I installed Ubuntu, I found that it was impossible to find the network drivers for the Wi-Fi. Now if you manage to find those drivers and it works fine for you, please let me know, because I'm having to use up one of my two USB ports, because I'm having to use up one of my two USB-A ports for a Wi-Fi dongle for Ubuntu. Which brings me on to my next issue with this laptop, and that's the fact that it has only two USB-A ports, which is good. When I was looking around for the laptops, because this wasn't the first buy I was looking to buy, I was actually planning to purchase an Acer with an i5, and it was actually £50 more than this. But when I found this one, I thought, blimey, £600, I'll go for it. All of those laptops in my price range, my budget was around £700, something like that, for this laptop. So all of the ones that I liked only had two USB-A ports, but all of them also had USB-C ports. So this one has one USB-C port and two USB-A ports, which is more than enough. You can always buy one of those little adapters for it, one of those extension adapters, which is something that I have done. So, in my opinion, the SSD that was included in this, for me, it's just way too small. And 256 gigs. It's good if you're just running one operating system on there, like Windows 10 for example, and you save everything else externally. For me, this laptop is mainly going to be used at university, so I needed extra storage, especially because I'm dual booting this with Ubuntu. So what I have done, which I'll discuss further, is I've upgraded the SSD to a 500 gig one, but like I said, I'll discuss that further later on in the video. So I can have half and half, and then I put this extra 500 gig hard drive in there for extra storage. The other thing well, it's not so much of a big problem because I managed to find a decent deal on the RAM, but initially this laptop came with 8 gigs of RAM, DDR4, which for me, I run a lot of VMs, and well, 8 gigs is just nowhere near enough for me. So I upgraded to 16 gigs, but it's only got one RAM slot. So I was searching for quite some time for a stick of 16 gigs. I managed to find the Kingston HyperX Impact, which was perfect. That's why this sticker is on there. But it looked nicer. But funny enough, I'm not sure how, but that ended up being cheaper than buying two sticks of 8 gigs of RAM. At the time anyway, so you know, it's a win-win at the end of the day on that particular occasion. But if you do buy this laptop, and you do find that the RAM is expensive, it's always worth looking at second-hand options as well. Now, there is a issue with this laptop, okay, and for me it's not majorly massive, but for other people it can be, and that's that's how loud the fans are. This laptop has two fans, so both of them are somewhere here, and the vents to those fans are here in the back of the laptop. So what happens is, what I think happens is anyway, is that echoes off this of the screen here, making it sound even louder. Now I've noticed it does in fact get loud when it's in. Now I've noticed it only gets loud when it's either in high performance mode or when it's charging, and when it's charging is also in high performance mode, because that's how I have it set up. When it's charging, set it to high performance mode. So this brings me on to my next thing. Now this is something that you've asked quite a few times in the comments, and that's, what's the battery life like? I mean, it's very difficult for me to tell you exactly what the battery life is like. I mean, it depends on a number of factors, such as what you have running in the background. Depends if you've made any upgrades and put in parts that, well, you use up more power. Now, the tests I've conducted on this are strictly based on my usage. So for you, it could be different. For example, I have a lot of things that run in the background at the moment, and that obviously shortens the battery life on a charge, doesn't it? So it's difficult. I try to disable as much as possible so I can give you some accurate results, and I have that here. So for the tests, what I have done is I made a nice little chart, and I've put it into 3 settings. So energy saver mode, so that's the absolute maximum energy saver mode. Okay, so that's when all the screen goes dark, things stop syncing, that type of stuff. I put it on normal, that's halfway between high performance and energy saver mode, and I put it on high performance. So I have made notes of it when it was new, and for me, when it was new, on energy saver mode, it lasted about 10 hours. Now that's on energy saver mode. I wasn't doing much on that laptop. The only thing I did on it was, well, I checked my emails a few times, I wrote a Word document, and I just left it on, and that gave me 10 hours before it died. Now, if I use it in energy saver mode in the same sort of manner, it gives me about 7 hours. So for example, if I don't know, if I make notes in lectures on my laptop, that would give me anything between 6 and 7 hours. The maximum I was able to get now was 7 hours, but that was without the hard drive connected, and that was without, so that was without the hard drive connected, and I've disabled absolutely everything in the background. And by the way, that was on Ubuntu at the time when I was testing that, and whereas that wasn't. So that might have had something to do with it, because there's things running in the background. So when it was new on normal mode, so that's, once again, that's half and half. So once again, that's halfway between each. I managed to get 6 hours on it when it was new. So that's with things syncing, that's with things running in the background. Right now, if I'm lucky, I get, well, about 4 hours, which is still relatively good. And if I set it to high performance mode without charging, when it was new, I had about 4 hours on it. Okay, and right now, if I'm lucky, I get anything between 2 and 2.5. Right now, if I'm lucky, on high performance mode, I get anything between 2 and 3 hours. But that's based on my usage. It might be different for other people. That's just my usage. So what's the overall performance like? So when it was new, it was very snappy. I never had any issues with it, apart from the fact that I needed to put more RAM in it for the VMs to run smoothly. It's much better than my previous laptop, and that could be felt straight away, which is a huge advantage. And I haven't actually experienced any major lag. There was on a few occasions I did find that it lagged a little bit, but it lagged only during the boot time. I had to leave it for about 5 minutes once I logged in for it to stop. But that was solved by rebuilding the system on here. I completely formatted the hard drive, or the SSD in this case, and rebuilt Windows and Ubuntu, and it was perfectly fine again. I think it was to do with a lot of the things I had running in the background during the boot. So I can't judge the laptop for that. So a little bit more discussion about the fans. Like I said already, I reckon the fans are slightly louder because of the fact that they bounce off this bezel on the screen here. It's got 2 fans, so obviously that makes it louder, and it's only noisy if it's in high performance mode, which is when it needs it. Apart from that, if I go quiet a little bit, you can't hear the fans at the moment, but it's not loud. I mean, for some people it might be loud, but this at the moment, It's like any normal laptop I've ever used. I have read loads and loads of conflicting reviews about the fans on this. You know, people have been asking about them. And there was even one review where the person said that they took it back to the store and they said they sent it off for repair, and the people there said that it couldn't be repaired. But actually, closer looking into what the person was describing, there was nothing wrong with the laptop. So it's very strange to me, and you know, it's just one of those things, I suppose. People have different opinions, what's good and what's not good. So I work with laptops on a daily basis. I fix them, I upgrade them. It's just my job, and the fans on this, in my opinion, are perfectly normal. There are much louder laptops out there. So, is the laptop worth it, or is it a horrible product? Pun intended. Yes. Of course I would recommend this laptop. I mean, I paid £600 for this laptop, which with an i7, with 8 gigs of RAM, with SSD storage, is a very good price. Other laptops at this price range were, wow, a lot more. So, other laptops at this sort of price range were around £700 at the time I purchased this laptop. So, buying it for about £600 was amazing, especially because it had dedicated graphics. Many of those laptops which had i7s didn't even have dedicated graphics. Apart from that, it was in fact the i7 and the dedicated graphics that drew me into this. I wasn't looking for a large laptop, I was just looking for something that I could carry with me at uni to make life a lot easier. I base my laptops on a 9-star system. I base it on style, quality, performance, battery life, upgradability, the ports it has, the screen, the keyboard, and if it has any extra features. So the first star would go to style. And it's very stylish. I mean, it's clean, look at it, it's very nice. I like the fact that it turns into a stand when I open it, which is something I demonstrated at the beginning. The next star goes to quality. It feels like a, well, premium product. And that's important, and it feels durable. Performance also gets a star, and that's because I've never had any performance issues with it. Yes, I had to upgrade it because for my needs that wasn't enough, and if I were to buy a laptop out of the box like that, I'll be spending around £900, which is over my budget. The next star is for battery life. Now, I was thinking for a very long time whether to give it a star or not. And that's because I have seen other laptops last longer, and people have been complaining about this laptop quite dramatically in terms of the battery life, but I have never had any issues with this particular one. So upgradability gets no star from me on this occasion, and that's because it's actually relatively difficult to open. I mean, if you don't have the correct tools, you're going to damage the thing. Once you finally open it, there is that hard drive issue. So if you wanted to add a hard drive like I did, it doesn't have the ribbon cable, which should have been included, I think, in my opinion. So in terms of ports, I will give it a star because, like I already mentioned, you've got your network lead, you've got HDMI, you've got the full HDMI. Not many laptops have the full HDMI. You've got USB-C. You got your micro SD card, you got Kensington, you've got headphones which can be also used as a mic, and your 2 USB ports. But in my opinion, I would still think that an extra USB-A port wouldn't hurt much. But it's very good. It's not on full brightness at the moment because I don't have a charger plugged in, but it's still crisp. And when you're watching a movie or when you're have high resolution wallpapers on there, it looks real nice. In terms of the keyboard, unfortunately I cannot give a star to the keyboard. Now I was contemplating on whether to give it a star or not because the keyboard is actually extremely comfortable when typing, especially compared to other laptops I've used in the past. But for me, the deal breaker is literally these lights, because they're difficult to see. You know, I've tried to use them where the lighting wasn't so good in the past, and I still found it difficult. I have to actually lean forward looking at the keyboard to see what the button is saying. So to me, that's actually useless. They're only good in a pitch dark environments. So for example, maybe if you're on a long plane journey, if you're working at night, that type of stuff, that's when they're good. But if you want to use them because the daylight is poor or something like that, then why they're poor, the lighting is poor. And the final star is for the extra features. I like the fact that the sound quality is pretty good. So you got B&O Play on here. For a laptop, you know, the sound quality is exceptional in my opinion. You know, my previous laptop had extremely poor sound quality and it was quiet. This one, sound quality is decent. You know, it's not like it would be on a portable speaker or anything like that, but for a laptop, because you know, you have to remember these are small speakers, the sound quality is good, and when I plug in my headphones as well, it's extremely good. Now the other thing that I would say is good is the fact that it uses Windows Hello. So overall, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 9, which I think is pretty fair actually, because you got your 1 star for style, quality, performance, battery life, ports, screen, and extra features. The only stars that I've missed out is upgradability and the keyboard. Let me know what you think in the comments. So, the verdict. Would I recommend this laptop to a friend? Yes, I would. And this laptop is actually decent. For £600, which is what I paid for it, is absolutely amazing. Yeah, so that's it for this video. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe.